All right, hello everyone. Good afternoon. The time now is 1:09. Just clicked over. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're watching or we're streaming through YouTube, Facebook, a lot of different places. So be sure to let us know where you're watching and tuning in from. And we're going to kind of go over some of what we saw earlier this morning. We want to hear from you too. So be sure to let us know your reports that you saw. And I know it was a very stormy and loud morning too. So we're going to go over a lot of things and talk about any sort of storm threat we're going to have over the course of the next couple of hours. So, again, it's 1 o'clock and we're kind of regrouping, and we're going to talk about some storms that are going to be moving in from the north and west. But this morning, you guys might have heard some of the really loud thunder around 3 o'clock in the morning. We are actually live, and we had tornado warnings in parts of Marion County, Flagler County, into Volusia County. It was just very active this morning, kind of snuck up on us, but that has since passed. It's actually working its way now into southern parts of Brevard County. So it's actually just now exiting Brevard County. So that's where we're seeing some of those heavier downpours right now. Again, let us know your storm reports, and if you saw anything, if you heard the thunder when you woke up this morning, and we always like to hear from you guys, and we'll continue to keep you posted too on any comments. We'll pop them up too if we get any. Okay, so let's talk about what we're seeing right now. Again, I mentioned in southern Brevard County, we just had a couple of storms roll through there. And then also we have some storms that are moving through our far northwesternmost counties. So places like Marion County, you've already seen some storms take place. And I'll go ahead and pop this up so I can change the radar site. So we'll get a little view. And storms right now. They're moving through northern Sumter County. And I'll get a closer view and see where all the action's taking place. A lot of lightning, throw on the lightning counter too, so we can see almost 100 lightning strikes taking place with this storm in particular. It's moving into the villages, so if you're watching from the villages and you're wondering what's happening, if there's any sort of warning, you're not under a warning, but I would highly suggest staying indoors. Because there is a lot of heavy rain, lightning, wind with the storm. You don't want to be caught outside in it. If you have any sort of errands to run, just give it about 5 to 10 minutes and the storm will likely be out of your area. However, there will be this second wave that's going to be moving in that is working its way in from the south and west. So it's going to be moving to the north and east, and that's going to be impacting Coleman here just about any minute now with some very heavy downpours if you're not already seeing those at the moment. So again, these are going to be moving in. So they're going to be impacting, they already are impacting southern Marion County, so south of Ocala, but they're going to eventually be moving in northern Lake County at this point and continue to work their way further to the east. So DeLand, Deltona, Orlando, we are nice and dry. But again, you don't want to let your guard down. It has been a very active morning so far, and we've seen this break in the activity. We're going to watch and see how the atmosphere is able to kind of recover, if it's going to be able to regroup. But so far, these northernmost storms are not severe, but we are watching them very closely for any sort of signs of severe winds, hail. Those are all going to be possible in any sort of rotation, of course, as well. So you can see some of our live cameras. We have them put up for you. It looks like this is going to be I-75 northbound. So that is going to be where the rain is taking place. A very wet view. This is going to be, looks like near mile marker 335. So it's certainly a lot of heavy rain taking place. Looks like at least traffic's flowing pretty decently at this point, but still to be prepared for some ponding on roadways, things like that over the course of the next couple of minutes, at least, probably the next half hour as this storm in particular continues to work its way further to the east. Tavares, you're probably seeing some light rain move into the area right now. We also have dry conditions right now for DeLand, but I would say DeLand, we'll put a tracker on the storm actually, so that way we can see a better timing of when exactly this might arrive. So it again is moving to the north and west at a rate of about 45 miles per hour. And it will likely be in Altoona by 135, Camp Ocala by 140, Alexander Springs 143, Island Lake 133, and then in the next couple of minutes, Starks Ferry by 121. So that's going to be in a little over 5 minutes. Just to get a general idea of where things are heading, what you can plan for if you are going to be outside. You just want to make sure you have a backup plan, shelter. Even though the storms are not severe, you don't want to be caught outside in these storms by any means. So let's go ahead and take you outside. This is Titusville, where you can see this is a live view. We did see some strong storms. This was actually the most recent area where we did see those strong storms take place. And we had a lot of reduced visibility and a lot of lightning, but we didn't have a whole lot in the way of storm reports just yet. We've had reports, though, of power outages. Luckily, they haven't been too terribly severe just yet, which is good. But we've had at least about 1,000 to 2,000 just across all of Central Florida. And then we'll go ahead and take you to our Lake Mary tower cam, which we were seeing sunshine a little earlier on this camera. It was by, I want to say, roughly 9 a.m. We were seeing some sunshine, but the clouds have since built back in. So that's what we're seeing right now. This is going to be ahead of the storms that are moving in from the north and west. So that's what you can see. Again, that's our Lake Mary camera in Seminole County. This is actually atop the station that can give us a good view of I-4, things like that. And it looks like roadways are in pretty good shape. So we do have a comment. This is Julie Ann Stockwell from Apopka, Florida. She says, Apopka, Florida, ? So let's take you there and talk about it. We'll pop up the radar. Give me 1 second. So Apopka, you are going to be seeing the rain probably here in the next, I would say, 30 or so minutes. It's going to start off likely as light rain. You most likely will not see the heavier rain until I would say closer towards maybe 45 minutes to an hour. So you're going to be in good shape over the next couple of minutes. Just be prepared, though. We could see a couple of strong storms. And again, with these, the main impact would be some strong wind gusts, some very heavy rain. We actually had some flash flood warnings earlier today, just because these have been such efficient rainmakers, meaning they've dumped a whole lot of rain over a short period of time. These are like tropical downpours, so they're really fat raindrops we can see this time of year in parts of Central Florida. So be prepared for that as we head into the next couple of hours. Just generally speaking, all that counts for all of Central Florida. So again, in Apopka, you just got to prepare, I would say, the next 45 minutes for the heavier rain. So we have Carmen Gill. She says, Tampa, Florida. Hello to you from Tampa. Yeah, Tampa, you guys have been seeing quite a bit of activity as well. That is actually where Deborah has a friend in Tampa who was asking about the weather as well. So this is the Tampa radar site. As of right now, Tampa, you guys are actually in pretty good shape, but you can see, I want to show this as well. This is what we've been watching essentially all morning long. This rain and storm activity that's moving in from the Gulf. We have a lot of moisture, a strong southwesterly wind that's kind of helping to pump all of these in. And so Tampa, you guys are under that severe thunderstorm watch as well. It's really encompassing much of the Florida peninsula. So that's going to be until 5 o'clock. So essentially, stay weather aware until about 5 o'clock this afternoon. So hopefully that helps you kind of plan out the rest of the day. You're dry right now, so if you need to get things done, you're going to be pretty dry here for the next couple of hours, which that reminds me, I do want to bring up our future clouds and radar to kind of give you a general idea of what to expect, at least in terms of the model, like just a general idea of what the trends could look like for the future radar. So this is looking ahead. We're seeing the activity kind of very scattered, work its way over parts of central Florida. And here's the thing too, as these move their way further inland, especially for, I would say, Marion County, also northern parts of Sumter County, you guys are probably going to see some pretty heavy downpours. And this will all be taking place right around school dismissal time. So be really aware of the lightning in the area that could impact dismissal time, also for the afternoon and evening commute. So we have Roxanne Reedy. She said, how about St. Cloud? Okay, for St. Cloud, you guys are going to be just to the south of Orlando. So you guys have actually been in a pretty big break. So I'll go back to the radar so we can get a general idea of what's happening there right now. And I do want to go further to the east. I'll turn on the Melbourne radar site. And if you see me switching radar sites, it's because we have multiple radars that are available to us all across Central Florida, including our very own WOFL Fox 35 radar that we have too. That's going to be in Bithlo. So we have that to use that we check a lot of times as well. But as of right now in St. Cloud, you guys are pretty dry right now. In fact, you might even be seeing a little bit of sunshine there. We don't have a specific camera in that general area, but we do have our camera that is going to be near the theme parks. That's going to be near, if I can pull that up, give me 1 second. I'll search it so that way we can bring it up and you guys can get a view. So that is a view right now of our iDrive camera, which it is pretty cloudy at this point. And I will mention too, we were kind of talking about this with Ian Consett. He's just to my right now. We were talking with Brooks earlier, trying to decide if the clouds were going to impact the forecast at all. So we are going to be expecting some cloud cover, maybe helping to prevent us from seeing some of those showers and thunderstorms. Oh, I'm so sorry, Casey. He's also helping me over here move some of the cameras. But well, you can see though, the clouds were certainly in place there. And we also have another message. This is going to be from Zoraida. I hope I said your name right. So sorry if I didn't. She's asking about Deltona. Okay, let's pop back over to the radar. So this is going to be essentially St. Cloud. I don't think I've finished my thought process there either. For St. Cloud, you guys probably have a couple more hours before seeing any more shower and thunderstorm action. So we have plenty moving in from the Gulf. It's just going to be exactly where these line up. And so far, the strongest of the actions taking place to our south, which if it stays there, that's great news for us. That means we're going to be kind of in the clear, but we've got to watch these ones to the northwest pretty closely. So for Deltona, you guys are going to see the rain a little bit sooner. So right now, it's just now entering far western parts of Lake County and parts of Seminole County, or excuse me, not Seminole County. It's going to be moving into Putnam County here over the next couple of minutes. And then DeLand, Deltona, you guys will probably see some of the stronger storms that we've been watching. Again, no warnings just yet. But be prepared for some heavy downpours, frequent lightning, maybe some small hail as well will be possible in DeLand and Deltona, I would say within the next 1 to 2 hours. We also have Elena who asks, she said early this morning in Paisley it was scary and lightning even sparked a small fire nearby on a pine tree. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is really scary. There was so much lightning, and the problem with lightning too, and I say this a lot of times, I don't get nervous a lot during thunderstorms, but lightning is something that you want to make sure you take seriously because lightning is so unpredictable. We know it when it does happen, but predicting it is a whole other thing. So that's why you got to be so careful of lightning. And also it probably like woke you up. It's like Mother Nature's alarm clock, right? It probably woke you up overnight. So hopefully you were able to stay safe, and hopefully you guys were, that fire was put out pretty quickly without injuring. Oh, I'm so happy I did say your name right. Wonderful. I love to hear it. I'm not the best at pronouncing names, so I'll do my best. But we are, again, still seeing some of these stronger showers and storms moving through the villages right now. So if anyone's watching the villages, you're probably hearing some loud thunder and lightning right now. So we have Paige Asper, who is asking about Ormond Beach, Florida. So let's go ahead and take you there. Ormond Beach, a couple of sprinkles. It's probably very cloudy. Not the best beach day, right? But you guys are also under that severe thunderstorm watch until 5 o'clock. And we have more of these working their way further to the east. And they will be in Ormond Beach likely within the next hour. So we're going to take a quick pause. We are going to send it to commercial really quick, but we're going to pop back on here in just a couple of minutes and go to break. We'll be right back. But you can continue to watch us on YouTube and Facebook as well. So if you are on YouTube and Facebook, you can stay tuned with us. So we'll keep talking, especially for Dylan Santos, who's asking about Melbourne. We'll continue to walk you through this. Melbourne is a little further to our south. You guys actually just got done with a couple of storms a little while ago. So within the last hour, there was a severe thunderstorm warning in Brevard County. We can see all of that action is still further to our south. Some lightning strikes there as well. And I think those were from the lingering storm, and that is going to be, of course, just to the south. So as of right now, no severe thunderstorm warning is in place. Melbourne, you're actually pretty dry, just some lingering sprinkles in and around the area, and that's also very close to the radar site too. But if you saw any sort of thunderstorm action, or if you have photos, videos, whatever it might be, please send them our way. We love to see your photos. You can message us, you can submit those. I believe the website is fox35orlando.com/snap. Oh my gosh, I'll have to ask.
Let's email them to fox35news@fox.com.
Okay, email them. That's going to be the best bet. Email them to fox35news@fox.com. That's going to be our best bet. But we want to get your photos. It's really easy to do. We love getting all of your plant photos that we use in the morning too, all of your baby photos. It's always a lot of fun for us to feature them, and it feels like we have like a connection with you guys too. So we always like to see that. But in Melbourne, we still are nice and dry. I want to make sure that you got the information you needed, and we're going to continue to watch that little area pretty closely. But so far, it looks like a lot of this thunderstorm action is really hugging areas to the south, just to the south, and really it's going to be working its way closer to the West Palm Beach area. Ian, I do want to touch base with Ian too to see if just give me a holler, Ian, if you see anything crazy or any sort of fun cameras to look at too. But right now it looks like on I-75, if you were near I-75 in Sumter County, that's where the heaviest of the rain is taking place right now. But again, no warnings just yet, but we've been watching it really closely. I'll go ahead and check on velocity as well. I'll go ahead and check on velocity as well here to see the wind speeds of a lot of these storms too. So we have seen just honestly some peak wind gusts, not anything too crazy that's catching our attention just yet, but we'll continue to watch this little section because that's something that is going to be affecting a lot of people here over the next 1 to 2 hours. I'm sorry, Josh just left me a note, and I'm so sorry, our Josh, our digital manager, I'm not sure what you mean by this note. Reset.
Let's go over the
next 5 hours.
Of, like,
Okay,
what to expect.
Gotcha. So you'll have to excuse me, I'm still very new at this, so this is still a learning process for us, but we want to be able to communicate with everyone and answer your specific questions when it comes to any sort of reports and any questions, things like that.
So I put a camera, and you want to show after this the WexNet 2.
Okay, cool, yeah.
The camera out of Bushnell with this oncoming storms.
Cool, so Ian was telling me there is a camera in Bushnell that he put up. Oh wow, yeah, definitely very stormy. This is going to be at South Sumter High School in Bushnell. So if you guys are hearing thunder, seeing lightning, you certainly have some heavy rain in and around the vicinity. But a really good point, yes, we do want to go over the next 5 hours. I don't want to focus too much on right now, so we do want to talk about the next 5 hours. So we're going to fast forward this, and this is, again, just a general kind of my idea of what the radar may look like. And I'll also preface this with the fact that our models that we use as guidance, they have not been very helpful for us with the forecast, not only yesterday, but today too. So this is you have to take it kind of with a grain of salt, but this is just a general idea. And I want to give you, don't focus too much on exactly where the storms are, more so just, I like to focus on how long they're kind of sticking around for and the general trends we see. So you don't want to get into the weeds with specifics here, but it does look likely that we'll still have some storms through the 3 and 4 o'clock hours. And a lot of these, it looks like the general idea, I know we don't want to focus too much on the location, but a lot of the storms are going to be moving in from the Gulf, and I think closer to Marion, northern Lake County, and all the way into Volusia for the East Coast and Flagler County through about 4 o'clock. So that's where we could expect the potential for maybe a couple of isolated strong storms. Again, that's going to be through about 3, 4 o'clock. And that will likely impact some afternoon and evening commutes. School dismissal too. I know a lot of schools are still in session, So just make sure you're paying really close attention to the radar, to the lightning in the area, so that way you can plan accordingly. As far as Orlando, I haven't really touched a whole lot on Orlando just yet because we've been in kind of a lull. And hey, we'll take it because it has been a very active, even just last like 36 hours. We've seen a lot of action as far as the forecast has been concerned. It's been very unsettled, just meaning it's been very stormy. We're getting into the rainy season, so that's not terribly uncommon. But in Orlando specifically, as of right now, it looks like we're going to continue on the drier trend. Again, trend, using that word very, very heavily because we could still see a couple of more isolated storms. So not as widespread maybe as what we were seeing a little earlier, because gosh, earlier it was very loud, it was very stormy, a lot of heavy rain, and it was not ideal in terms of the timing either with the commute. So Sammy, yes, you asked what about Orlando. So in terms of what to expect in Orlando, a couple of storms will be possible, but we are going to see this lull, so this break in the action for the next couple of hours, I would say at least. So let me pop up the radar once again so you guys can see. And again, that yellow you see behind all of the radar that we're seeing, the returns, that's going to be where we have the severe thunderstorm and watch. So you can kind of ignore that for now. But Orlando, and I'll put this into motion so that way we can get just a general idea of where these storms are heading and where they're going to be taking place next. So just changing the radar site so we can get a little bit better of a view. And then we're going to fast forward through time through the last about 15 or so minutes. So we do have a couple of downpours taking place right now in Orlando, just to the south specifically of the Orlando metro. So in terms of what we're expecting throughout the rest of today, specifically our impacts from these storms, because as we mentioned, some of these could be on the strong side. And again, we're seeing this break in the action right now. So in terms of the specific types of impacts and threats we might see, that would be, again, heavy rainfall and the gusty winds. Those will be two very real impacts we expect with any storms, severe or not. But the severe storms specifically could have wind gusts as high as around 50 to 60 miles per hour, and that could lead to some power outages. So if you're home or work wherever you might be and you can charge your devices, I would highly suggest doing that. We haven't had too many power outages just yet, which is good, but we as always make sure we're staying really cautious about it. Hail has also been something we've been watching. We haven't had, as far as I know, any reports of hail just yet.